Hello everyone, today I'm gonna show you how to get Fire Emblem Engage, how to set it up into your PC so that you can play this game into your PC with no issues at all. So, what you need is that you'll need to have these files here that I have highlighted in my desktop, and that you will need to install the latest build of ryujinx emulator. So, this is how ryujinx emulator looks like for those who are new, and ryujinx emulator is a Nintendo Switch emulator that can play Nintendo Switch games easily. So here I have Fire Emblem Engage as a proof, and I have played it 19 minutes. Okay, so in order for you to run this game, you will need to have all these files, and I'm gonna show you where to get all of them. So I'm just gonna open up a web browser here and just type in ryujinx emulator, because that is what you'll need to get first. Okay, so go to ryujinx.org, click on that, and then go to download. And if you're using Mac OS, your Mac OS should be in 11 or later version in order for ryujinx emulator to run. And if you're from Linux, you can just download here. And if you're from Windows, just like mine, I am now in Windows 11 and it runs well. I have updated everything and there's no issue running ryujinx emulator into your PC. So just download here. And I'm just going to skip the download and installation process because that is really easy to do and anyone can do that. So I'm going to assume now that you have already installed ryujinx emulator. So if this is your first installation, be sure to boot up or run ryujinx emulator now, and then you'll be met with certain errors saying that you will need to have some certain files installed into your ryujinx emulator in order for it to play Nintendo Switch games. So what are those files? So these are the files that is needed into your ryujinx emulator. So these are the Nintendo Switch keys and the Nintendo Switch firmware. And it should be in version 15 in order for it to run and play Fire Emblem Engage. And Fire Emblem Engage should be in XCI file format, okay? So, if you're wondering where you can get all these files, you can only get these files if you own a Nintendo Switch console, which is modded and should have a custom firmware installed in it. Because if it has a custom firmware installed in it, then you can access your Nintendo Switch system files. And once you have that, you can just copy the keys and firmware files into your PC. And in order for you to get Fire Emblem Engage, buy the game, you should have a physical copy of that game and digitally back it up into an XCI file format. So that's the legal matters in how to get all those files. So now, if you don't own a Switch, or if you have a Switch but don't know how to mod or do the things that I have said, I'm just going to save you that hassle and teach you where to get all those files. In order to get all of these files, I'm just going to leave a QR code here. Just scan it with your code reader and you will be redirected to the download page wherein you can get all of these files, which is approms.com. And once you have visited the site, go into the middle part of the site, then you will get the XCI file format of Fire Emblem Engage. And to get the keys and firmware file, scroll down into the bottom of the part of the page and then you can download the keys and firmware from there. So be sure to check the entirety of the website in order to get all of these files. So now, I'm going to assume that you have already downloaded all of these files here, and it's now time to install them into your ryujinx emulator. So go to your ryujinx emulator, go to File, go to Open ryujinx folder, and then go to the System folder, and then open this keys file, zip file here, and then just drag and drop or copy and paste these files into that folder. This folder should be empty if this is your first installation. So closing that. Now it's time to install the firmware. To do that, just go to Tools, go to Install a firmware from XCI or zip file, and then choose on that firmware file. And it'll say that you will need to install it and hit Yes. And it will say successfully installed and hit OK. Now, your ryujinx emulator is now capable of booting up Nintendo Switch games. So it will load up those icons of Nintendo Switch games here once you have done all of that. So here, Fire Emblem Engage. Now, it's time to optimize your ryujinx emulator so that it will run Nintendo Switch games with no issues, okay? So to do that, just go to Options and go to Settings. Now, in this part, be sure to pause the video and copy my settings, okay? So in this part, the game directories is wherein you will put your Nintendo Switch games, and Nintendo Switch games should be in XCI or NSP file format in order for ryujinx emulator to boot up that game. Just like mine here, Fire Emblem Engage is in XCI file format. Now, go to Input, You can play Nintendo Switch games with a controller because it is much better to play it with a controller because it's really hard to control the game using a mouse and keyboard. So to configure this, just go to Player 1 and configure. And you can just connect your controller here, just like mine here. I have connected my Nintendo Switch Pro controller. If you have a PlayStation or Xbox controller, it can be detected here also. If you have another controller, it can be detected in your PC. Just map it up accordingly here and hit save. Now, go to System. Again, just pause the video and copy my settings. Now go to the Graphics tab. This is the most important part of this tutorial, so be sure to copy everything. The graphics backend multi-threading should be on. Graphics backend should be Vulkan. Preferred GPU should be your dedicated graphics card. Enhancements. Enable shader cache. Enable macro HLE. Resolution scale should be in 2x so that the game will look much better than the native resolution of the Nintendo Switch. But if your PC cannot handle that, then you can just go to the native resolution scale. But for me, I'm using 2x resolution. Anisotropic filtering should be auto, and aspect ratio should be in 16:9. And once done, hit apply and save. Now, your ryujinx emulator is now fully capable of running Fire Emblem Engage with no issues at all. So a little bit of disclaimer, I'm not going to show you guys a gameplay of Fire Emblem Engage because we all know that Nintendo is really strict on this kind of content and they don't want it to be shown. Okay, so I hope you do understand that. Because if I show you guys, then my channel will get in trouble. YouTube might delete my videos and my channel if I do that. But in this video tutorial, I am willing to show you guys a little bit of boot up in the title screen of Fire Emblem Engage, and I'm gonna do that now. And I'm just gonna blur the screen, ryujinx emulator, so that Nintendo will not be able to detect any of their images of the gameplay of on the title screen of Fire Emblem Engage, and that they will not be able to hit me with any copyright strike in this video tutorial. So that's the only part that I am willing to show you guys, the title screen. Okay, so here I'm just gonna blur things out, and there will be music introduction when running the game, so I'm just gonna skip on that part. So still loading the shader cache for the game. May take some time. So these are all in real time. And no fast forwards. So here's the title screen, and I'm just gonna stop the emulation now. So as you can see, Fire Emblem Engage is running quite well in PC. With day one, the game is running perfectly well. So if you have followed all the steps that I've shown in this video tutorial, then you'll be able to play Fire Emblem Engage with no issues at all into your PC. You will get all the files you needed to start playing the game. So if you have some questions regarding the installation process of Fire Emblem Engage into your PC, then just leave a comment in the comment section below, and I will try my best to answer all of them. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel. This will help me out. And see you in the next video tutorial. Goodbye for now.